We're gonna learn how to make a walk around in Scribble. Uh, a lot of misconceptions have been taken on tutorial 1. It is not simply a chat, it's also anything that you want to make interactive with multiple users or multiple people. So what I want to do today is I want to use this library called Enchanted or enchant.js. It's a framework built for a canvas, HTML5 canvas. It's a game engine. Let's just cut the bullshit out. It's a game engine. It's really simple to use, but I have no actual like in-depth use of it. All I did was just kind of like use it as an example for a walk around, which is what I'm gonna try to do today. Walk around is usually what you're gonna see first off in game development for anything that's just kind of like wanting to see interactive value come at you fast, like prototyping. It usually starts off with a walk around, and then you apply a lot of the features that you want it to be, or what makes it unique. So this is a great starting point for any like bigger project. But I'm gonna try to keep this really easy and straight to the point. So what we're gonna use is this this example that comes with Enchanted, and to get Enchanted, or not Enchanted, Enchanted sounds weird. Anyways, so it's called enchant.js. You can go to enchantjs.com. They're free. They're available on GitHub. But what I want you guys to look at is it's really simple. It uses a couple of commands. It's a jQuery like. It's just a game engine. It works really well. It's really easy. I really don't have a lot of experience in it, which is okay because I don't want experience in this. I just kind of want to give you guys a taste of what's possible and what you can collaborate with Scribble. Scribble is not just merely a chat. It is more than that. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. So what I did is I downloaded the files and I extracted this example, which I can show you guys inside the GitHub, which would probably be cleaner. And you'll see examples, and you're going to go to expert, and it has this test run for RPG. And pretty much what that looks like is this little walk around here, and you use little use arrows, your arrow keys to kind of move around. And if you notice, it's really clean. Like for the most part, I think it's more than enough to kind of just display what Scribble's capable of at this point. It doesn't really do anything interactive. You don't do anything cool like switch out level panes or anything like that. It's really simple, but it works, and it works for this for this demo. So that's great. Or tutorial. So this is tutorial 2. So let's begin. So what I want to do is, first off, I want to create a new channel. And a channel is not really like a chat channel. It's just a hub for where connections are going to be located for a specific app. So for this app, it's going to be a walk around. So we're going to call it Scribble. And I'm just going to pull off the enchant. And it's an RPG. So I'm just going to do Scribble RPG. Tutorial 2. Alright, cool. So that's simple. Alright, so we get the same event calls and stuff. So we can just keep it like that for now because we really don't know what we're expecting yet. So that's okay. We go and create. So then we're given with an access URL for WebSockets. So obviously we already know how to do that. So I'm going to go back into the code for what makes this work. And it's a little cumbersome. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little much to read, but what I want you to look at and focus on is what makes a character appear. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to simulate, or not simulate. We're trying to add in characters or a little sprite for every person that connects. So that's really important. So we need to know how this example creates a character and how it's placed in. After reading a little bit, it's really simple. They use this sprite class and surface. So you can basically pull all that information out. And for the most part, what I want to do is I want to make a function. And basically it's gonna create a shadow. My computer's overheating, so I had to move it a little bit. So create a shadow. Create shadow, player shadow. Because basically it's not the player, it's a shadow. I think of it like that. So we have our function, and in here we're gonna create a variable for shadow equals new sprite 32. And basically you don't even have to do a lot. It's really this copy paste kind of deal. So it's really simple. For the most part, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna copy it in, and then I'm gonna replace player with shadow, so we get a consistency. So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of like moving some stuff around. I'm not doing anything new, so it shouldn't be blowing your minds at all at this point. I hope it doesn't blow your mind at all, and like you walk away. So basically, all we're doing here is we're creating a sprite, loading its sprite sheet. That way, it has this animative walk around sequence. So you can notice the sequence when you walk around with the character when you use the arrow keys. So it's really simple, and that's what Kara0.gif means, and it does all this crazy stuff. You can read into it more. I'm not going to explain it too much. I just want to keep this really simple. So basically what I did here is I created a player and I gave it exactly what it needs, is a sprite and a surface. Surface loads an image for the sprite sheet and then renders on the sprite using this image property. I don't know much more than that, which is all. That's all we need. Alright, so down here we're going to see this thing called group, and that makes it so much easier for us to actually implement a multi-user multi-user interaction for this example, which is what we're going to do. So what I want to do is up here at the very top, I want to make it global because I want it to be accessible throughout the whole program and not, or through the whole JavaScript file, not just in that one little scope of a block. So what I want to do is I want to create a players group. So I'm going to create players false, and that's just to say, you know, it's not declared to anything. That's okay. And you can see here they're using kind of like a component type of design pattern. Not going to get into that either. You should know, if you really want to read on it, you can do that. It's really simple. It's just you can put any amount of sprites together and group them up together, and then put those sprites in other sprites. So you kind of like group the way that it gets drawn out, which I think is really simple. So we're going to create a new group under players, and we're going to move our main player into this players group. So I hope you guys can follow along with this one. I'm not doing anything crazy. So what I want to do is, instead of rendering out just a player, because that's basically we only have one player right now, I want to render out the group players. So at the same level or the same layer that it was printing out player, we're going to print out all players that are interacting with the game right now, which is what we want. So now that we have that, what I want to do is I want to create a way for me to know that characters can be easily created, or not characters, but shadows. So what I want to do first is I want to call this function that we created, create shadow player shadow, and I'm just going to do it. And this is not the best idea, but for the sake of tutorial, I'm just going to add it here. So I'm going to do a players add child. Whoa. Make sure you do not capitalize the H in child. So then I have that. All right. So in essence, when I push down, it should create a new character. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this. And you'll see it's left with a little shadow. And basically, what we're going to want to do is just implement that for any time a user connects or moves around and we're kind of just walking around, it should render on a screen. So that's basically what a shadow does. So then now what we're going to do is, I'm going to flip through this a little bit different. What I want to do is I wanted to add in the WebSocket stuff, which is the other layer. So I'm going to go back up here to the very top, and I'm going to create on WS equals false for a local, global, WebSocket variable, and then we're going to start declaring it inside the ready stuff, and we're going to do WS equals new WebSocket, and then we're going to give it the URL for that we're given by Scribble to connect to it. Do it right there. All right, cool. And then we're going to add some events to it. So on open, whoa, we're going to add a function call or an event handler. So when it opens, we're going to want to go ahead and do an alert as connected. We don't have a chat area, so this time we got to use alerts. We could also use the console, but for the sake of just not getting into that, I'm just going to make an alerts. So going back to Enchanted, we got connected. Awesome, perfect. Oh, and I got a message. So what I want to do next is go away. Hey, all right, cool. Is I want to actually start making their interaction happen, which makes this online, which is what you guys want right now, and that's what I'm going to give you guys. So we're going to read in a message, and the idea that I want to do, or the idea that I want to use is I'm going to use a JSON string, and a JSON string is really simple. It's just 2 brackets like a block in code, and then ID colon. ID would be the ID of the variable that, or it's pretty much the variable name, and then the value. So we can do X, Y. So it's really simple. That's all a JSON string is, or JSON object. So anyways, you can read in that more later, but I'm going to try to make this clean as possible. So now we're on message. What we want to do is we want to prepare ourselves for the message to be parsed by a JSON parser. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to do j equals JSON.parse, and this is actually part of the latest and greatest browsers, so you can look it up. And we're going to pull out the data for it. So we're expecting JSON strings the whole time, nothing more than that. So that's okay. So we're going to do a switch j.id, and it's pretty much like a packet or a package of data that's kind of coming through. And it's an object, has an ID, and the ID pretty much specifies the type of event that you're receiving at this point. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a we're going to have 2 cases. We're going to have case 1 for ID 1 and ID 2. And what are those? Well, that's what I'm going to declare right now. User connected. And I'm going to comment that in. Update user position. All right. So there we go. We have 2 handles, or 2 different things going on there. Cool. So in here, what we want to do is we want to add in the shadow for a specific user. So one of the things I want to do is I want to create a new array up here for online players. Keep it empty because it's just going to be an array, and this will actually hold the real sprites that are created, and will only be referenced into the game engine for enchant. I'm sure there might be other ways of doing it. I don't care. I really don't care. I just really want to get this done. So here we got online players. So what I want to do is I want to extract a special key, which is we're expecting a user ID, which I'll explain later on the server side. So for now, just try to like keep up. User ID is a unique ID for the user that's connecting. That's really simple. And then we're gonna set it's pretty much a hash map. You give it a key, and then you give it some values. The key would be the user ID, and the value would be that sprite for that specific user. That way you can do updates a lot easier, and you don't have to like search for the user or anything like that, and all that crazy shit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna call the create player shadow. So now that we've created a new instance of a sprite for this player, what I want to do is I want to add this this new sprite into the players group, and I hope let's see, add child. My mistake. All right, cool. So now that we have that, I'm pretty anal about this. All right, cool. I like my tabs. All right, cool. So we have that. That's basically it's just gonna add in a new user when they connect. It's really simple. All right, now we gotta do updates for the same idea. Online. So actually, we're gonna do a conditional. So online players dot UID, and if they exist in there, I want to access the player's sprite from the global online players array or hash map, and I'm going to update their X position with the X position that was provided in the JSON structure. And just it's all like just an idea right now, so don't. So I'm sure you're wondering where the hell this is all coming from. I'll show you on the server side. Don't worry. Just keep in mind that just pretend the object is currently holding an ID for the packet or the package of information, what type of package it is, the user identification, X position, or Y position for that player. So really simple. And then else, if the user doesn't exist, because they're only added when a new user is connected. Let's say that you connected and there's already 5 users already available on the screen. Well, we don't want to like do all this message passing to update you with all the other users. Let's just simply wait for an update from that user to come in, and we just add them in. It's really simple. So it pretty much just copying this code right here, as we did, and it's pretty much just joining these two together. And that's pretty much it. And pretty much we've created what is supposed to happen. When this is all that's going to happen for when you're working with Scribble. When you're basically for any event that's going to be handled right now. This is all. That's it. With this code, it should be enough to make it online or multi-user. So we'll see multiple users walking around. All right, now let's go back to Scribble. Now we got to actually do some code in there. And again, really simple. Nothing too intense. So what we want. So one of the things that's in here that's not apparent is that we have this JSON object, and we can encode, or I'm sorry, decode the message that's being received, which is this. Oh, actually, I forgot this one crucial part. We forgot to send the position of the player when they move. So what I want to do is I want to send, and this is where it gets. Now you can understand how the JSON structure looks like. And what I want to do is I want to stringify. Whoa, wrong way to put that. Stringify. All right. And the argument would be an object, and the object is pretty much ID equals 2 for update, and then actually let's just send the X and Y coordinates. I think we can make Scribble just automatically pad all that stuff in, so we don't send too much information from the client, and it saves us time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send the X position for the sprite. We're pretty much this player position and their Y position, and that's it. So this is what on message is going to receive every time you move. So we're going to decode that message, and then we're going to send it into a table. Or yeah, it's pretty much just it's a hash map, or it's kind of like it's the same deal as far as the JSON structure goes. So we're going to do a t dot let's see, t dot id equals 2, t dot uid equals uid, and you get that from the on message parameters that are received for this specific person. And then we're gonna make t or j equals JSON encode, and this will stringify the table into a JSON or JSON parsable string, and then we're gonna broadcast that to everyone on the server except the user that sent it in. All right, so that's it. All right. One more thing is when the user connects, we want to do a case for ID 2. So what we want to do is we want to do t equals, and create a new empty hash map or table, and we're going to do a t ID equals 1, t uid equals uid, and that's it. Now we can go ahead and broadcast that to everyone except the user that's connecting. Oh, I forgot. J equals JSON. We have to encode this first before we send it off. We can't send an object because it's different in every scripting language, but the string that's referred to for the JSON object is parsable in both environments. So that's what makes it cross-platform, which is great. So broadcast the J the JSON string, and that's pretty much it. So we can go ahead and save that, and hopefully once I upload this file, we'll be able to move around. Okay, that's boring. I want to add more life, so let's go ahead and add up another tab, and go ahead and create another one. Okay, cool. And go ahead and move it over. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Let's see. So we're obviously not receiving messages. Oh, well, we gotta give it a few seconds because of the update. It takes about 30 seconds for it to update. If it's not coming through, no, it's not. Okay, that's okay. Let's go back into the Scribble code, and let's take a look at what we have here. So, oh, here's one. I forgot to switch out broadcast with J instead of message, so that could be a problem. That's actually a huge problem. And then our encode should actually encode T, not message, because that doesn't exist in this area. Some people might have caught it when they're watching this video and probably laughing right now. And whatever, guys. So let's see. Let's go ahead and try again. And there we go. Cool. We see me in there. Go ahead and move to the side. And we have movement. Alright, lame. Why did I say lame? Because I like direction. So what I want to do is I want to add direction really quick. You guys, this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I've pretty much shown you guys how to make a multi-user multi-user purpose of this example. So it's really easy to do. It's not hard to implement Scribble into any game that you might be doing. It's just kind of like it's really working with the parameters. So one of the things in here is we have this direction variable, and we also have an event listener for an enter frame, and it's doing this frame, this equals direction, whatever, I don't care. So let's go ahead and add that into our shadow, because we're not doing that for our shadow right now, and that's the main reason why we're not getting direction. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I'm trying to make this fast as possible. We're already over time, like big time. So let's see. Alright. So now we have direction explicit, or it's been added to the whole thing. So now inside when we walk around, I'm going to add one more, and it's going to be D for direction, obviously. And it's going to be this direction. So the person's direction currently. So when we receive an update, all we really have to do is do an online player. So we don't even have to touch Scribble anymore for this one. Direction equals j.d. And we can go ahead and add that into the other part too. That way it gets updated for any new users that are coming in. Alright, cool. So that's really simple. So let me go ahead and update. And again, we don't have to touch anything on Scribble side, which is perfect. Go ahead and... Whoa. Oh, we got a bug. Okay. Now we can go ahead and try to fix this really quick. Let's see what the bug is. Did not mean for that to happen, guys. But sometimes you cannot control some of this stuff. So there's a semicolon that's messed up. Okay. So we go over here. I forgot a parentheses, so that's really quick and easy. Let's go ahead and close this console again and re-upload it, and that should be it, guys. Sorry about that. Alright, and go ahead and let's go ahead and bring up the other one that we're using. Okay, and also refresh that one. And let's start moving around. And now we have direction. Perfect. I'll go ahead and upload these files so you guys can try them out and play around with them. Alright, thanks for listening.